All right, we're continuing now with the claims, the complaints of Korach and his congregation. And they're saying like this, they're saying to Moshe, Yud Daled, Aflo el eretz zavas chalav adavash heviotanu. Also, to the land flowing milk and honey, you didn't take us. V'titen lanu nachalat sada v'cherem, and give us an inheritance of fields and vineyards. Ha'enei ha'anashim ha'im tenakir. Are you going to take out the eyes of everybody? Lo na'aleh, we're not going to go up. We're not going to go. We're not going to. We don't want you as our leader anymore, Moshe. No na'aleh. Let's look at Rashi. Rashi explains everything. Patiten lanu dover hamosav alo ha'amor, on the low ha'amor lamal. This refers to all the things you did not give us. They said you did not give us. Eretz says this, but Titan Lano, don't think this means and you will give us. This refers back to the low. Kolomar, lo eviotanu, you didn't bring us to the land of Israel. Lo natata lanu, you didn't give us a inheritance of fields and vineyards. Amar talana, you said, Moshe, you said to us, E'eleh eschem me'oni Mitzrayim, I am going to take you from the poverty of Egypt, El Eretz Tova Rachava, to a land that's wide and rich. Misham Otzetani, you did the first part, you took us out of Egypt, below El Eretz Zavat Chalav, but you didn't do the second part. El Gazer Gazarta Aleinu Lamitenu B'Midbar. What did you do, Moshe? You took us from security. In Egypt, we were secure. We had our jobs. We had jobs over there. We had food. We had protection. You took us all out. You promised us utopia. And now you're going to kill us all in the desert. Shamar talanu, because you said to us, B'midbar hazeh yiplu pigrechem. In this desert, all of your bodies will fall. And there's another. This is the proof that the Rebbe brought. Also, it's brought in Seder Olam that the whole story of Korach occurred right after the story with the spies. And as Moshe said, "Okay, you want to stay in the desert? She'll stay in the desert 40 years." And then they said, "Oh, you're going to stay. You promised us you're going to take us to the land of Israel." So all the time they were always changing their minds. The people, they had a lot of trouble. At first, Moshe said, "I want to take you to the land of Israel." They say, we don't want to go to the land of Israel. We want to stay in the desert. So Moshe said, "Okay, stay in the desert." They said, "Hey, you said you're going to bring us to the land of Israel." Even if you send someone to take out our eyes, as a threat, a punishment for us not following you, we're not going to go. We're not going to go. We're willing to lose our eyes, but we don't want you as the leader anymore. What does it mean if you take out the eyes of those people? A person that puts a curse, that's his curse on somebody else. Right? He says, he didn't want to go up. Korach and his people, they didn't want to go up. And they were saying everybody else doesn't want to go up. Next pasuk. Vayichar Moshe me'od. Moshe got very angry. One second, what did I do? Vayichar Moshe me'od. Moshe got very angry. Vayomer al Hashem, and he said to God, Al teifen el minchasam. Please, God, do not turn to their offerings. Lo chamur echad mehem. Not one donkey did I take from them. V'lo hareoti et achad mehem. I never did anything wrong. I never did anything for myself. Everything I did was only for the people. Now I'm asking you, God, please don't listen to me. Now, Moshe is in a big problem. Why? Because God listens to the prayers of Jews, and especially if there's a lot of Jews. And here we have all the Jews. And they're all praying to Hashem for the same thing. Let's get rid of Moshe. So let's look at Rashi. Vayichar Moshe me'od. It was bad to Moshe very much. Vayichar, what does it mean? Nitzta'er. The word vayichar is sort of strange. Vayichar. So he says nitzta'er on Mod. He was very, very brokenhearted. Moshe. Al teifen al milchatam. Moshe was praying to God. Please, God, do not listen to their offerings that they're going to offer up. Lafi Pshuto, simple meaning is, it's talking about Haktoret. We're going to see this in a moment. Haktoret shehem makrivim lefanecha. The incense that everybody's going to burn in front of you tomorrow. Al teifen aleim. Please, God, tomorrow I'm going to tell all these people to fill up fire pans with incense, and we're going to see whose incense, whose offering God accepts. Please, God, don't listen to theirs. Midrash Omer, the Midrash says, I know that all the Jewish people, they have a portion in what's called the Tamidei Tzibur. There's every day there was offered two what are called constant offerings, a sheep in the morning, a sheep in the evening, in the morning and in the afternoon. So all the Jewish people were part of that. They were part of that. I'm asking you, God, even these, the offerings that they make, that they're entitled to, don't accept it. God. That the fire should not devour it. The fire should not, the fire should pass it over, their offerings, and should not accept it. So one of these, what did Moshe Rabbeinu say? Moshe Rabbeinu said one of two things, or maybe both. Tomorrow I'm going to tell them to bring fire offerings. Don't accept it. And then there's offerings that you told them to bring. Every day they bring a constant offering to the altar. Please don't listen to that either. Lo chamor echad mehem nasati. I did not take one donkey from them. What does it mean? Lo chamoro shel echad mehem natalti. I never took one donkey. What is he talking about donkeys for? Afilu keshalachti mimidyan lemitzrayim. Even when I went from Midian to Egypt. Remember the story? That Moshe Rabbeinu, he was tending the sheep of Yisro in Egypt, in Midian, and he saw the burning bush. And God tells Moshe Rabbeinu, go to Egypt and take out the people. The people are ready to leave. Go over there and save them all. Well, Moshe went there with a donkey. Even when I went from Midian to Mitzrayim, and I put my wife and my children on a donkey, I could have taken one of their donkeys from the Jewish people. Lo natalti, I didn't. I only took one of mine. But Targum Onkelos, Shachris, it's Lashon Arami. What does he say? Kach nikra an garia shel melech shachvar. Shachvar, 1 second. The translate Targum Onkelos, he translates this word chamor. He translated shachrit. Why? Because the Angiri, I guess the horse of a king is called a shachvar. That's the name of the. Vayomer Moshe el Korach. Moshe said to Korach, Shimu na b'nei Levi. Vayomer Moshe el Korach. Ata v'kol al descha, you and all of your congregation. Heyu lifnei Hashem, ata v'hem ba'aron machar. Go tomorrow. Hem means adatcha, your whole congregation, all these people, the 250 people that were with him. Ukachu ish, to learn how to make this thing work. Sorry, sometimes it doesn't move at all, and then sometimes a little tiny flick on this wheel makes the thing move. Here we go, here. Oh, you and your whole congregation, you lifnei Hashem, you and them and Aaron tomorrow. Tomorrow, Hem hu adatcha, your congregation should be tomorrow. I just want to look up something over here. Give me one moment, please. Give me one moment. I don't know why I did not see this before. Excuse me. I just want to see this thing about this shachvar, how he translates it. Just one moment. Oh. Chamor, he says chamor. What is this? I'm sorry. Here it says excuse me, 1 minute. 1 minute here. Well, he doesn't really explain it over here. It says Dover Anita Labor a Melech. Okay, further. Vayomer Moshe Korach, Kachu ish machtaso. Everyone should take a fire pan. It's like a pan of metal. Unesatem aleh ketoret, and put on it incense. V'ikravtem lifnei Hashem ish machtato, and every person should put in front of God with his fire, with his pan, chamishum matayim machto, 250. V'ata v'Aaron ish machtato, and then you and Aaron also the machta. So God is saying to this. God is saying to Moshe, you and Aaron, you take fire pans, and also all these 250 people, they will all take fire pans. The odds are stacked against them 100 to 1, 100, what is it, 250 to 2, so 125 to 1, that God will not listen to them. Here we go. Oh, very good. Okay. Vayakel aleim Korach, v'kol raso, el petach moed, vayar kavod Hashem al kol ha'odah. They all went to the entrance of the tabernacle, and the glory of Hashem suddenly appeared. Rashi, vayakel aleim Korach, v'divrei leitzanut. He was joking around. Kol alaylahu. Listen to this. This is very scary. Kol alaylahu. The whole entire night. What did Moshe say? Moshe said, boker, right? Here, let's see. What did Moshe say here? Vayomer Hashem Moshe. Call it a machar. Kachu. Second. Yes, 1 second. Boker v'yada. Where does it say? Yeah, he said to Korach, tomorrow. In another second, he's going to say boker, in the morning. What does it say? Boker v'yadatem et asher Hashem. Okay. All right. Vayikal aleim Korach b'divrei leitzanut, joking around. Kol halaylahu, that whole night, halach etzel hashvatim, he went to the tribes. He went to all the tribes. Upata otam, and he enticed them, convinced them, and he said, "Kasavorim atem sha'alai lavadi ani makpid." That the only reason I'm angry about Moshe is what he did to me. I only care about all of you. Moshe said, all I care about is all of you. Moshe and Aaron, they're taking all of the rulership for themselves. Lo Malchus, Moses became the king. Aaron became the kahuna, until all of them got convinced. From here, it seems to be that Korach succeeded in convincing all of the Jewish people, that all the Jewish people went with him, even the tribe of Levi. He himself was from Levi. Vayera kavod Hashem, it says, Bo ba'amud anan, Hashem appeared to them in this pillar of in this cloud. Okay, a little bit from tomorrow. Vayedaber el Moshe vel Aaron, hibadlu mitoch ha'eda hazot v'achaleh otam karoga. Separate yourself from this congregation, and I'm gonna swallow them up. We'll eat them in a moment. Vayiplu al paneihem. In other words, he said, you and Aaron keep away. I'm going to destroy all the Jewish people, everybody that's with them. Vayiplu al paneihem, Moshe and Aaron fell on their faces. Vayomer Kael, God, Elokei ruchot l'kol basor, the God of the spirit of all flesh. We'll see this one and then we'll go to another side. If one person does a sin, you're going to get angry at everybody?
Yeah, I have a question.
Let me just say this one and then that's the question. This is very interesting. What does it mean that God is called Elohei Haruchot B'Kol Basar, the God of the spirit of all flesh? Look at this. Yodea Machshavot, that you know the spirit, you know the thoughts. Ein midatcha kamidat basar v'dam. God, your attributes are not like other people, are not like human beings, I'm sorry. Are not like human beings. Melech basar v'dam. If there's a king, Shesarcha alav miktzat medina, that's a sum of his country, rebels against him. Ein yodea mi achota. He doesn't know who's doing it. But like in America now, they don't know what's going on. There's big riots. Who's causing the riots? They don't know. Therefore, when he gets mad, he takes it out on all of them. But you, in front of you is revealed all thoughts. And you know who is the sinner. Right? Now, it's something similar we're going to see later on Parshas Chukos when Moshe Rabbeinu, he tells God to pick Yoshua. And Yoshua is going to say the same language. You have to pick somebody on the congregation. In other words, God, you know everybody's personality. Pick somebody who's like you, who also understands everybody's personality. That can be a good leader. Okay, what did you have a question?
Yeah. Why is there no discussion of the death sentence that's hanging over the entire congregation, that they'll die when they're 60 years old?
That was last week.
Yeah, I know. But now this is after that, and Korach's not talking about it. No one's talking about it. They're acting as though they're going to live forever.
No, that's what he said. No. Here, look, it said. That's what he said over here. Where? Let's see, 1 second. Here. Oh, it's here. Here. You didn't bring us to the land of Israel. You're not going to go. He says, how does he know? Let's look at Rashi over here. It says,
there's a reason why they know that.
It says,
everybody knew that. This was the prophecy of those two guys that were prophesizing that Yahshua got all upset about. Everybody knew that at this point that Yahshua was going to take them into the land. They're worried about that. They all knew that Moshe wasn't going to go into the land. This was no secret at this point. Right. Remember the two guys who were prophesying?
I don't understand. So what's the point? What are you trying to say?
Why isn't Korach saying something? They're all acting as though they're going to live forever. Like they're going to be okay. Why isn't Korach saying something about how we can overcome the this edict that we're all going to die? Moshe did this to us. There's nothing.
1 minute. Just 1 minute. 1 minute.
It doesn't track.
Okay, good. 1 minute. Look, it says over here in Pasuk Yud Dalet, right? Moshe, we don't want you anymore. You decreed on us death. Right? That's what it says in Pasuk Yud Dalet. We just finished it in. Shamarta lana, you said, b'midbar hazeh yiplu pigrechem. Right?
That's what Rashi says. That's not what the Torah says.
No. Rashi is explaining what Korach is saying. Rashi is explaining what Korach is saying. Look, what is Korach saying? Look, Yud Dalet. Also, to a land flowing milk and honey, right? Not to a land of milk and honey will you take us, and you're not bringing us apart. How did he know Moshe's not going to take them?
Because it was prophesied already that Moshe would not be taking them.
Okay, good. And now they're all angry, right? Now they're all angry at Moshe. That's what he said. If so, we don't want
Also,
you.
why would all these guys stand up? All these 250 men from all these different tribes stand up when they know that they're going to die? What were they standing up for? Why aren't they just repenting?
They're going to die, and nothing's going to help. They're going to die in another 40 years, let's say. They're going to be wandering around. All that time, they're going to be wandering around with Moshe as the leader. Now they're all angry at Moshe, right? They were the ones that sinned, but they're angry at Moshe. Because of you, we're going to die in the desert. You promised us you're taking us out, and you reneged on your promise. They didn't say it was their fault. They said it was Moshe's fault, but Korach convinced them. Like I said in the beginning, what happened? The Jewish people were just troublemakers. At first, they were going out. They were in the desert. They said, we don't want to go into the land of Israel. We're not going to go into the land of Israel. So Moshe said to them, okay, don't go. We'll stay here and die in the desert. Then they said, hey, Korach stands up and says, hey, we're dying in the desert. We want to go into the land of Israel. What's going on? So no matter what it was, they were complaining. And also now they're trying to pin this whole fact that they're going to be staying in the desert on Moshe. So they're angry. They're frustrated. They're saying, Moshe, you're the problem. We're getting rid of you. We don't want you. Even if we're going to die in the desert, even if we're going to die tomorrow, right? The fact is you're at fault, Moshe. It's all your fault, and we don't want you anymore. And we're going to get rid of you, Moshe. You're the big problem. You think you're going to get rid of us? We're going to get rid of you. We don't want you anymore. So we see it's a nature of people, very strange nature that people have. But people like to blame other people. They like to blame others for their own faults. In fact, even more, if you look at it, you can see that their faults they found in Moshe, right? They're found that because they said, Moshe, because of you, we're not going to go into the land of Israel. The fact of the matter is it's their fault that they weren't going to the land of Israel, not Moshe's fault, but they saw their faults in others. That's what everybody does. Call a posel, but mumat small posel. They went crazy. They weren't thinking in logical terms. Nothing whatsoever. Right? They didn't want Moshe to be the ruler even 1 second. They're gonna go down with Moshe. Right? We'll die in the desert. You're gonna go first. Huh?
I don't see that, but okay. I really don't see that.
What I don't understand. I'm sorry. I just don't understand your question.
I'm not sure what my question is right now, but
because they're all going to die, so why are they mad at Moshe?
It just doesn't seem as though this is that this story is in its right place.
What are you trying to say? Because they were mad at because they were all going to die. So your question is, how could they be mad at Moshe if they were all going to die? That's your question?
That's for one. That's a good question.
Right. So I'm saying that's the reason that they're mad at Moshe. Exactly, that's the reason why. Precisely that. They're going to die, and because of their own sin, and they said it's not our own sin. It's because of you, Moshe. Because of you, you promised us to take us. What difference does it make what we did? You promised you're going to take us into the land of Israel, and you reneged. It's all your fault. Right? We're not going to do anything you want.
But it's Hashem that sentenced them to death.
They're pinning everything on Moshe. It's Moshe's fault. Listen, you see how important Moshe is. What happened? Why did the Jewish people worship the golden calf? Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu, it says in the Torah clearly, Moshe didn't come down. They thought, Ki boshesh Moshe. Moshe didn't come down. They heard directly from God not to worship the golden calf. They heard from God. The only first 2 commandments that they hear directly from God. One of them was don't worship other gods. They heard it directly from Hashem. Their souls jumped out of their bodies. And nevertheless, they worshiped the golden calf. Why did they worship the golden calf? Because Moshe wasn't there. What's the connection between They heard from God not to do it. What do they care if Moshe wasn't there or not? They were totally dependent on Moshe. Now comes along Korach and says, you guys are crazy. What are you all so dependent on Moshe? Be free. Come on, free yourselves from this guy. Who was he doing? Look at it. He promised even to take us. You see that he's incompetent. He promised he was going to take us into the Holy Land, and he's not doing it. Right? He just admitted himself he's not doing it. Right? What is all this reliance on Moshe for? Right? Why are you so depending on Moshe? Who is this man anyway? Okay, he took you out of Egypt, but now we're on Mount Sinai. We finished. You know, it's like parents, they grow their children up, and after the son gets married, so parents want to move into the house with the son and his wife. What are you doing? You're my son. I want to take care of. That's it. We're mature, said Korach. We got the Torah. Moshe finished his job. That's it, right? And we see that he's getting senile. He promised us stuff and he's not providing. Let's choose a new head. Let's get away. And all the people said, okay, good idea. They were all frustrated. They're going crazy. Something like now, you know, everybody's locked in their houses with a corona. They don't know what to do. They're locked in. Everyone's locked in. They're locked in the desert. You're going to stay in the desert. They all went berserk. Anyway, that's how I see what's going on here. Okay, let us look just 1 second. We have another couple of minutes. I just want to, before we learn the Mishnah, I hope that sort of answers it. Anyway, think about it. We'll talk about it tomorrow. In this week's Torah portion, we have 9 commandments. I really wanted to do this first, but it just slipped my mind. We have 9 commandments in this week's Torah portion. 9 commandments, Korach. What are the 9 commandments? It's 4 negative commandments and 5 positive commandments. What are they? I'll just go through them quickly. There's a positive commandment that you have to have guards on the holy temple. V'shamru es mishmarti. Ushamartem et mishmaret hakodesh. What does it mean? It's for honor. It's not that that nobody breaks in. Just it has to be for, how do you say, royal, like in the the King of Israel in England, they have the honor guards. As these are honor guards for the holy temple. They have to stand. Negative commandment. And there's a whole thing, there's in 21 places, and there's 3 places, and the Kohanim watch, and the Levites watch. The Rambam goes into much detail about it. Number 2, negative commandment. The Levites cannot do the work of the Kohanim, and the Kohanim cannot do the work of the Levites. The Kohanim, they were the ones that offered up the offerings. The Kohen had to be the one that lit the menorah, changed the show bread, the face bread was called, lit the incense, the inner incense. They're the ones that burned up the sacrifices. And the Levites, their job was to sing, to open up the doors of the temple, etc. They had their job, but they cannot change jobs. They also played instruments. 3rd commandment, a negative commandment. A non-Kohen is not allowed to go in the temple. Is not allowed, not just to go, this is not allowed to serve in the temple. A non-Kohen cannot serve in the temple. He cannot do any one of the things I said before. He cannot pour the blood. A non-Kohen can slaughter the animals. You can shech the animals. Shchita kosher bazor. But a non-Kohen cannot take the blood and pour it on the altar. He can't burn the sacrifices up. He can't change the face bread or the incense, etc. 4th commandment, a positive commandment. The mitzvah of Pidyon Haben. You have a firstborn son. He was born in a natural way, not a cesarean birth. His mother didn't have a miscarriage before him. Firstborn son. Didn't have a sister born before him. He was the firstborn. And the firstborn has to be to his mother. Only the firstborn to the mother, not the firstborn of the father. So the father's never been married before and he marries a divorced woman. That's his first son. That's not the first son as far as this mitzvah goes. It has to be the firstborn of a Jewish mother. Has to be redeemed, that you give what's called 5 selaim, a certain amount of money to the Kohen, and there's a whole process that we do it. Then there's another commandment, which is not to redeem a firstborn how do you say, pure animal, edible animal. You have the firstborn. Now this mitzvah does not apply nowadays, and this is only the time of the Beit HaMikdash. The firstborn of your animals must be given to the Kohen, the firstborn, unless it has a blemish. If it has a blemish, then you can redeem it. You can give the Kohen money. You also cannot sell it. It has to be sacrificed in the Beis HaMikdash. You can sell it after the parts were sacrificed. Now, when there's no Beit HaMikdash, you can sell it, but nevertheless, one who buys it has to act in a special way with it. You can't. It's still considered to be holy, to a certain degree. Next, the Levites have to work in the Beit HaMikdash, like it says, the avoid halevi hu, the sacrifices, the work of the Levites. The Levites have to serve in the Beit HaMikdash. They have to protect the Beit HaMikdash. They have to open up the gates. They're the ones that sing, etc. Now we have the 8th of the 9 commandments, a positive commandment, to give Meiser Rishon to the Levi. The Truma you give to the Kohen, and you give Meiser Rishon to the Levi. Meiser Rishon means 1/10 of your produce. You have to give to the Levites, because the Levites also, they don't have jobs there. That was, of course, in the time of the Beis HaMikdash. Nowadays, we redeem it. Finally, the 9th of the 9 commandments that are in this week's portion is that what? The Levi, once the Levi gets his Meiser Rishon, he has to also take Meiser from that. That's called Trumat Meiser. He has to take Trumat Meiser, apart from what he receives from the farmers, or the 1/10 of their produce. He has to give 1/10 of what he receives to the Kohen. Those are the 9 commandments that are in this week's Torah portion. Let us now go to Pirkei Avos. Pirkei Avot. We're on the 3rd chapter of Pirkei Avot. Where do we get up to? You remember the study? Did we do this 1 second? I'll tell you. No, we didn't do it. Yes, here we are. We did Mishnah Dalet yesterday. Remember, we said that there's 3 things that are unhealthy. Don't stay up all night, and don't walk in the nighttime and alone, and don't fill your head with empty thoughts. Next, Mishnah Hay. Yes? Mishnah Hay. Now we're Mishnah. That was Mishnah Dalet. What do you have here? Oh, what happened? Important notice, please update your Zoom applications to 5.0 higher. Zoom applications will receive a forced upgrade when trying to join meetings. As our world comes together to slow the spread of COVID, the Zoom Center is operating to support you.